Hello everyone, this is Professor Mihisha once again with another video. In this video, we are going to learn various rules and principles of place of supply under GST along with example. So now let us start with first viewing the various rules of place of supply. Now, under place of supply, there are basically five rules which you have to remember very well. The very first type of rule is supply involves movement of goods. Okay, so here under this particular rule, if the supply of goods is from one place to another place, then the place of supply will be place where the movement terminates for delivery to the recipient. That's the very first rule. Second, goods delivered on the direction of the third person. So now if there are three-person involved in a transaction, okay, here the place of supply will be the principal place of business of the third person. The third rule is supply does not involve movement of goods. Okay, here the place of supply will be the location of goods at the time of delivery to the recipient. Fourth, goods assembled or installed at site. Here the place of supply will be the place of installation or assembly. And the last, the most important one, goods supplied on board a conveyance. Okay, here the place of supply will be the location where the goods are taken board. And last, if any other cases which is given there, okay, the place of supply will be determined in such manner as may be prescribed. Now, this is the basic five rules which you'll have to remember. Now, here I've just read out what was given in the diagram. Now, let us try understand one by one. What does each rule specify? Okay, using example, we'll try to explain each and every rule perfectly. Okay, so let us start. The very first rule is supply involves movement of goods. Okay, now movement of goods basically means from one place to another place. If the goods have been moved, okay, then how is the place of supply determined? Okay, so now the place of supply of goods will be determined based on the location of the goods at the time at which the movement of goods terminates for delivery to the recipient. Meaning, when the goods finally reach, that place will become your place of supply. So now let us try to understand this with the following example. Mr. C of Chennai received a purchase order from Mr. H of Hyderabad for want of commercial goods. So now here Mr. H has ordered Mr. C for some goods. Now the supply involves movement of goods by the supplier from Chennai. Here the supplier is Mr. C, okay, to Hyderabad in a truck by road. Now let us put this example in graphical form first. Mr. H of Hyderabad gave a purchase order to Mr. C of Chennai stating that he wants some goods. Mr. C informed it that the goods will be transferred, okay, will be transferred with the help of a truck. So here Mr. H is the purchaser, Mr. C is the supplier. Here the goods are being moved from the place of supply to the place of recipient. In that case, according to the rule that when the supply involves movement of goods, the location of good at the time at which the movement of goods terminate, that place will become your place of supply for GST. So in this case, okay, there is movement of goods, and according to the movement of goods, wherever the goods lastly terminate, that place will become your place of supply. So in this example, okay, the goods are moving from Chennai to Hyderabad. It terminates at Hyderabad. Therefore, the place of supply of goods is Hyderabad. In this place, the GST will be charged. Okay, so that is the very first rule. Supply involves movement of goods. Okay, now let us start with the next rule. The next rule states that the supplier delivers goods to a recipient or any other person on the direction of a third person by way of transfer of documents of title to the goods or otherwise. So here in the second rule, the supplier will deliver goods to a recipient on behalf of the third person. So here three parties are available: the supplier, the recipient, and the third person. On the direction of the third person, the supplier will give goods to the recipient. Under such condition, okay, the place of supply of goods will be that it shall be deemed that the said third person has received the goods, and the place of supply of such goods shall be the principal place of business of such person. It means if there are three parties involved, the third party or the party that informs the supplier to deliver goods to some other person at that time, okay, the place of supply will be considered of the third person. To understand that, let us take an example. Mr. C of Chennai received a purchase order from Mr. H of Hyderabad for want of commercial goods. So here the supplier is Chennai, Mr. C from Chennai, and the purchaser is Mr. H from Hyderabad. Now supply involves movement of goods by the supplier from Chennai to Hyderabad by road in a truck. Okay. So now Mr. H gave a purchase order to Mr. C, okay, to send goods by road. Now upon the direction of Mr. H, now Mr. H gave some direction that these goods are redirected to branch office of Mr. H located in Vijayawada, that is in Andhra Pradesh, by way of transfer of document of title to the goods. So now here what happened is, let us take the same example in graphical point. Mr. H from Hyderabad gave a purchase order to Mr. C of Chennai to give goods to him. But before sending the goods, he informed them that send the goods not to Hyderabad but to Vijayawada, that is his branch office. So now here there are three parties involved: the supplier, okay, the recipient, and the third person who made the order. So in that case, according to the rule of third person, okay, the place of supply will be that place where the third person is residing. Okay, so here there are three places involved: Chennai, Vijayawada, and Hyderabad. Hyderabad is the place from where the purchase order was made. Chennai is the place from where the supply of goods is done, and Vijayawada is the place where the goods have been received. Okay, so whenever three parties are involved, always remember the place of supply will always be that of the third person. So third person nothing but the person who gives the order. Okay, so in this case, the place of supply of goods will be Hyderabad. With this, the second rule comes to an end. Now let us see the next rule. Now the next rule is based on where the supply does not involve movement of goods. Okay, it means the goods are not going from one place to another. So in this, place of supply will be based on what? Okay, the place of supply of goods will be based on the location of such goods at the time of delivery to the recipient. Okay, this place of supply is irrespective of the location of the buyer and seller. In simple term, okay, let us take an example. Okay, let's say Mr. X is from Mumbai, Mr. Y is from Goa. Okay, Mr. X, okay, for his vacation went to Goa, and from Goa he purchased the goods, okay, from Mr. Y. So here the goods was manufactured in Goa itself. Mr. X from Mumbai traveled to Goa and purchased goods there. So here the goods are not moving from one place to another. Okay, so in that time when the goods are not moving from one place to another, or there is no movement of goods, okay, at that time the place of supply will be the place where the goods have been purchased. So in this case, the place of supply would have been Goa. So to understand that better, let us take this example. Okay, Measures Karina Limited incorporated in Mumbai and owns a godown in Chennai. Incorporated in Mumbai and owns a godown in Chennai. Mr. N, Mr. M of Mumbai approached Measures Karina Limited of Mumbai for purchase of goods lying in godown at Chennai. Mr. M further informed that he does not want the delivery of goods in Mumbai. Measures Karina Limited issued invoice for sale of goods in Mumbai. Now here let us understand this example. Okay, Karina Limited is incorporated in Mumbai. Okay, but it has a godown in Chennai. Okay, Mr. M approaches Mrs. Karina of Mumbai for purchase of goods lying in godown at Chennai. So Mr. M is a purchaser. Okay, he approached Karina Limited. Okay, and he said that he wants goods which are lying in Chennai itself. And Mr. M further informed that he does not want the delivery in Mumbai. So here the goods are not moved from Chennai to Mumbai. The goods are there itself where it was kept. Okay, so at that time here, this particular example contains a rule, that is there is no movement of goods. So whenever there is no movement of good from wherever the goods have been picked up, okay, that place will become your place of supply. So let us put this in a graphical form. Okay, Mr. M of Mumbai gave a purchase order to Karina Limited. Okay, Mr. M directs Karina to deliver the goods at Chennai itself. Now Karina Limited incorporated in Mumbai but has a godown in Chennai. Mr. M from Mumbai informed Karina that don't give me the goods at Mumbai, but you have the goods at Chennai and give it to me there itself. At that time, the place of supply will be nothing but Chennai. So here in this particular example, the place of supply of goods will be Chennai, and at this place GST will be charged. Now let us take the next rule, that is goods are assembled or installed at site. Now this is very simple. According to this rule, it states that wherever the goods are assembled, okay, or wherever the goods are installed, that place will become your place of supply. So here according to the nature, place of such installation or assembly will become the place of supply of goods. Okay, let us take this example. Mr. D is located in Delhi. He places an order to Mr. Delhi of New Delhi for installation of air conditioned machine in his factory located in Chennai. Mr. D procures the indoor and outdoor units, set of plugs, electrical cables. So he buys a lot of things from different states in India and arranges for delivery in Chennai. The said machine assembled by Mr. Delhi in Chennai, and they've asked us to find the place of supply basically. So now here let us take put this example in graphical form. Mr. D of Delhi gave a purchase order to Mr. Delhi of Delhi for buying air condition and various other electrical cables and other instruments. Okay, he said he wants to buy, but he wants them all those his electronic machines or all his electrical machines to be installed in Chennai. Now according to the rule, okay, whenever the goods are assembled or installed, the place of supply will always be that place in which the goods have been installed or assembled. Now as per this example, okay, the air condition has been installed in Chennai, so here the place of supply of goods will be Chennai. Now let us see the next rule. Next rule involves goods supplied on a vessel or a conveyance. Okay, basically when you are you're transporting goods through railways to ships to airplanes, then how will be the place of supply determined? So according to the rule, the nature states that the place of supply of goods according to this condition will be the location at which such goods are taken on board. Okay, let us take this example to understand what does this mean. Chennai Express train going from Chennai to Cochin. Okay, X Limited located in Cochin has supplied the food which are given to the passenger during night time. The food packets are located at Chennai Central Station, Chennai, and they ask us to find this place of supply. So now here, Chennai Express train is moving from Chennai to Cochin. Okay, X Limited located in Cochin has supplied the goods which are given to the passenger during the night, and the packets were loaded at Chennai Central Station. Now according to the rule, where goods are supplied on vessel or conveyance, okay, place of supply will be that place at which the goods have been boarded. So here the goods were loaded or boarded at Chennai Central Station. So here the place of supply of goods will be Chennai, and X Limited is liable to pay IGST at Chennai. Let us understand this with another example. Let's say Mr. C of Chennai supplied goods to SpiceJet Airlines of Chennai, flying between Delhi to Mumbai. The goods are loaded in the aircraft in Delhi. So in that case, okay, according to the rule, wherever the goods are loaded, that place will become your place of supply. So here the place of supply of goods will be will be Delhi, and Mr. C will of Chennai will be liable to pay the IGST. So these were basically the five important rules which we have to remember for place of supply. Okay. Now, in addition to this, there is another rule which we have to remember. Okay. Place of supply of goods for imported into or exported from India. So if the goods are imported into India and exported from India, for that, what is the rule of place of supply of goods? So when goods are imported into India, the place of supply will be the location of the importer. So from wherever the goods have been imported, that place will become your place of supply. And for export from India, the location outside India, wherever it has been exported to, that place will become your place of supply. So with this, various rules regarding to place of supply comes to an end. Now let us try solving various examples in order to clear out our rules. Okay, we have went through various rules, so now let us see how can we implement that using examples. Okay, let us start with one by one problem solving. Number one, Hanuman Traders, a dealer in furniture located in Maharashtra. So now here, whenever you go through the question, be careful. Okay, mark out all those places which are given in the question with the respected, you know, either the supplier or the recipient. Now here, Hanuman Traders, that's number one, located in Maharashtra, receives an order from Ram Traders, also located in Maharashtra. So whenever you go through the question, always try to locate first who is the supplier and who is the recipient and where they are located. So here the Ram Traders is a supplier who is located in Maharashtra. He received a purchase order from Hanuman Traders, who is also located in Maharashtra. Thereafter, we start reading ahead. The order is for supply of 50 tables with an instruction to ship the tables to Prime Hardwares located in Tamil Nadu. Prime Hardware is a customer of Ram Traders. So now here, if you look carefully, now there are three parties involved. Okay, according to the rule of three parties, third party, a person who gives an order, that person's place will become your place of supply. How third party? Okay, Hanuman Traders gave the purchase order to Ram Traders. Okay, but he informed that the goods have to be given to the third party, that is Prime Hardwares, which is located in Tamil Nadu. So here the supplier is Ram Trader, recipient is Prime Hardwares, and the person who gave the purchase order, that is the third person, is Hanuman Traders. So according to the rule, okay, of third person, the third party or the third person himself becomes the place of supply where he resides. So here under this example, the place of supply will be Maharashtra because Hanuman Traders is located in Maharashtra. Now let us go to the next example. Bharat Limited, registered in Maharashtra, sold its pre-installed transmission towers located at Madhya Pradesh to Hindustan Limited, registered in Delhi. So here, okay, installation. They have given a word called pre-install. So now this is an example based on installation of goods. According to the rule of installation of goods, okay, place of supply will be always be that place at which the goods have been installed. Okay, Bharat Limited, that is, he's from Maharashtra. He installed goods in Madhya Pradesh for Hindustan Limited, they are which are registered in Delhi. Here the goods have been installed at Madhya Pradesh. So here the place of supply will be Madhya Pradesh. Next, Kabir from Mumbai sells refrigerators to Meza Sharma Traders from Ahmedabad. So now here what has happened is from Mumbai refrigerators have been sold to Ahmedabad. So now this is an example of movement of goods. According to the rule of movement of goods, the final termination of the delivery becomes your place of supply. So in this case, the place of supply will be Ahmedabad. Next, Akram has a registered place of business at Pune. He places an order to Vipul in Delhi for delivering a parcel to Aditya who is at Nasik. Again, now this is an example of third person, and according to the rule of third person, the person who gives the purchase order, his place will become the place of supply. So here, okay, Akram has placed an order to Vipul to transfer the goods to Aditya. So here, Akram's location, that is Pune, will become your place of supply. Okay, now let us take one last example. Shiva from Bangalore travels to Chennai for a vacation. He purchases laptop from Chroma store at Chennai. So now here Shiva from Bangalore, he traveled to Chennai. From Chennai, there was a Chroma store. Okay, from Chennai, he purchased laptop. So here the goods have not moved from Chennai to Bangalore, but the purchaser has come from Bangalore to Chennai and purchased the goods in Chennai itself. So now this is an example of non-movement of goods, and according to the rule of non-movement of goods, wherever the goods have been purchased from, that place will become your place of supply. So in this case, the place of supply will be Chennai. Okay, so with this, the topic based on various rules and principle on place of supply under GST comes to an end. Okay, I hope we all have understood this. We have taken many examples to clear out this doubt. So if you all have understood and if you all have enjoyed the video, please support our channel, like, comment, subscribe, and share with as many people as you all can. Thank you.